Good morning, everybody. This is Mark. We're back here for the morning call. It is Wednesday. We call it Fed Day around here, I guess, this week. Today, certainly. Yellen's speaking. She's speaking at 2:30. That's going to really dictate how we end the day. We're obviously gapping up this morning, which is nice to see. Into the Fed, which is, again, we've had a nice bounce, 3-day bounce at this point in time, or a 2.5-day bounce, reversal from Monday. Gap up on Tuesday, another gap up on Wednesday. I would assume we hold this gap up into the Fed to some extent. I'm not saying we go higher, we go low, but I would imagine we stay in the green until the Fed. And then I think the gloves are off. I don't really know what's going to happen. The reality is, the interest rates ideally will be, raised 1/4 point, which again is not a whole lot, but that's what expected. It's really what she talks about after that, how 2016 is going to look. I guess the normal rhetoric right now is that 3 rate hikes in 2016. That seems to be the consensus. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to be slow and prolonged compared with economic data. She doesn't want to surprise us. That's basically what her message has been for a period of time. So I'm assuming she does not surprise us based on what she has said. So how the market reacts, that's anybody's call. We had a nice 3-day rally, basically off of oversold conditions. We're now almost unched on the oscillator and right back in the mess we've been in for quite a bit of time, almost back to October. We'll have to wait and see. I still think the S&P's closed relatively flattish, up 2%, down 2% for the year. So that hasn't really changed. I think high beta still has a chance to gun towards the close, for a Santa Claus rally. Also, it's getting, it is getting close to the end of the year, so we'll have to wait and see. But they can do it the last 5 days if they want to, depending on how the tape wants to treat us. So overall, we gotta see what she says. We know 2 things: it's going to be volatile, and there's going to be a lot of action. So I think just take that accordingly. The first 10-20 minutes after the Fed gets very choppy, very whippy, and then eventually you can start to see some stuff happening after that. And I think that's really the play and the name of the game. We will slow down till 11 o'clock, 11:30. It will probably get very slow until Fed. So just take that in mind. Go through some charts. We did have a sell-off, pullback in some of the high beta towards the end of the day, Google. But then Google, again, it did hold 21-day for the most part. It's now gapping up $4 or $5. Probably a little more digestion. If it was a normal day, I would say digestion would probably be the healthiest thing for it to happen. But because we're going to have Fed day and, most likely a big up or down move one way or another, I can't imagine Google just stays right here up $4. There's a possibility. We'll have to wait and see. Overall, the chart looks fine. Amazon, still the best in breed in my opinion. It keeps getting resistance around this level, 680-ish. So until it breaks, then it's still best in breed. But until it breaks through that resistance, use that as a place to at least take trades and take some profits across the board, or even put on shorts if you want to. But it is, again, one of the strongest stocks out there, so you got to respect that. NFLX had a down day yesterday, much to what I expected. Up today, with a gap up. Wait and see. Hanging in there. It's trying to regain its 21-day moving average, so we'll have to wait and see if that happens for us. Tesla really didn't do much yesterday, and then it's a little gap up. It's going to get to possibly this resistance level. I think it's, what is this, it's almost 230-ish, maybe a little below 230. Possibly breaking a descending channel, which is bullish to the upside. We'll have to wait and see if that plays out. So, Facebook, same. I don't have to keep going over the same stuff. Above 107.50, interesting to me. And Apple's the one that keeps lagging at this point in time. Lagging with some negative news, but at the same time, it look at that 108 level or 106 as the previous low, and if it breaks there, you could get more selling. So use that 107.55 as a level for us. This morning in the news, VRX has some continuation. They've had an earnings call. I think it's just getting that behind us, and it's gapping up. I think $5 or $6 when I got here. It's now over its 50-day, so that's pretty constructive. Still has some work to do, but overall, obviously from the bottom, it looks pretty good for some headwinds higher strategically. The solar stocks got a nice little lift this morning, whether it was the FSLRs to new highs, in the last month. SCTY had a nice move, JKS, even SUNE, SEDG. There was the tax abatement was put on the table by Congress, so I think that's just put a bid underneath this tape for these stocks, at least for the time being. We'll have to wait and see if that plays out. But overall, that's why this sector's up. Oil, I didn't really check it before I came. Not seeing a whole lot. We could be finding a short-term bottom here, but overall, I don't think you're going to get a whole lot. It could bounce between 30, 35, and 40 pretty easily at this point in time, and that would not surprise me. Obviously OAH I play, but DWTI is something to watch if you want a little bit more energy in there as an inverse to crude overall. What else do we have? Some of the Chinese guys, I know all the foreign markets were up last night, so we have some action there. Maybe you get some, you had some nice move in BIDU. Maybe there's some follow through in Kihu. I know I've been looking at CTRP. I think it's should be on the radar. Not the best looking, but WUBA, a little better looking, but it's at highs already, so at least in the short term. But overall, it looks pretty good for us. So, my feeling, banks had their one-day rally. They're going to be rallying again this morning, I believe, and now it's back into resistance. So I think you have to wait and see what happens after that. They'll probably need more time. So we got the snapback we were looking for when we were talking about it probably on Monday, and even back, Thursday, Friday, oversold conditions. Ideally, you're going to get a bounce back. We got it, and now it's just a matter of wait and see what the Fed has to say, and we will go from there. I think it's going to be interesting. The one thing I do know, we probably don't stay stagnant, and that's okay. But overall, we'll be back on the radio, certainly, at that time. I think stay tuned. I think things will start to slow down, though, by 11:30, and then we'll get a little bit more information as the Fed starts to make their announcement. Good luck today, and I'll talk to you all later.